Recent reports suggest the Trump administration is looking to form a new task force to evaluate the impact of the ongoing tariffs between the U.S. and China. These are the same tariffs the administration imposed under the banner of America First, and the same ones China retaliated against with equal force. But now, with the consequences starting to catch up, it seems the administration wants to shift the blame. And who's being positioned to carry that burden? Vice President JD Vance. If this task force becomes a reality, Vance will be put in charge. They're even floating the title, Tariff Czar, which, frankly, sounds like something pulled from a bad political drama. But in all seriousness, this is about more than a fancy title. It's about damage control. Let's talk about those tariffs. When the Trump administration implemented them, the idea was to punish China economically, force them to the negotiating table, level the playing field, and bring manufacturing back to the U.S. But in reality, tariffs are a tax. And who ends up paying that tax? American businesses, American consumers, you and me. Prices go up. Supply chains get disrupted. Companies that rely on imported parts or goods suddenly have to spend more, which leads to layoffs, reduced hiring, or higher prices on the shelves. The result? A weakened economy, especially for working-class Americans, the very people Trump claims to champion. Now, Trump knows this hasn't played out well. Public opinion is overwhelmingly against the trade war. Even among Republicans, there's growing frustration. Nobody likes paying more for groceries, electronics, or vehicles just to prop up a policy that hasn't produced the promised results. And Trump, ever the showman, knows how to read a crowd. So what does he do? He finds a fall guy. Enter JD Vance. Instead of admitting failure or walking back the policy, Trump hands Vance the microphone and says, "Here, you explain this mess." Vance will now be the face of rising costs, delayed shipments, and economic anxiety. And what's worse, he probably doesn't even realize what's happening. He's being set up. Trump's long been a master of deflection. Whenever something goes wrong, someone else takes the blame. Whether it's his cabinet, his advisors, or now his own vice president, there's always someone else in the firing line. It's political survival 101, and Trump plays it better than anyone. Vance will be trotted out in press conferences, on Sunday talk shows, maybe even campaign rallies, trying to convince the public that these tariffs are necessary, even beneficial. And while he's doing that, he's absorbing all the heat that should be aimed at Trump. That's the play. The American public, unfortunately, often buys into the redirect. Millions won't make the connection. They'll hear Trump say, "Well, JD Vance is in charge of this now, and that'll be enough." They'll turn their frustration toward Vance, convinced he's the architect of the policy, not just the guy stuck delivering the bad news. And here's the kicker, I actually hope that works. Not because I support Trump's strategy, but because of what it could mean for the future. Trump can't run for president again. He's term limited, and while he's hinted at defying that, the Constitution is still clear on the matter. He's nearing the end of his political road, no matter how loud his rallies are. JD Vance, on the other hand, is just getting started. He's young, ambitious, and clearly being groomed for bigger things, maybe a run for president someday. But if this strategy sticks, and if the public really does associate Vance with the economic fallout of these tariffs, his political future could be dead on arrival. He'll carry the stain of a failed policy into every future campaign. He'll be the guy blamed for higher prices and supply chain disasters. That could end his career before it truly begins. And from a certain point of view, that's a win. Trump fades into the background, Vance takes the hit, and the cycle ends with both of them politically sidelined. It's brutal, yes, but undeniably effective. For once, the Trump administration may have pulled off something strategically brilliant. 2 birds, 1 stone. And as strange as it is to say, part of me kind of respects the sheer ruthlessness of it.